His area of focus is marital therapy, and he's currently completing his PhD in marriage and family therapy and counseling through North Central University. Charles is also working part-time as an instructor at the University of Calgary. Charles is passionate about helping people live up to their full potential and overcome hurdles that get in the way. He also enjoys mentoring and developing the next generation of psychologists through his work as a clinical supervisor. Please welcome Charles Coleman.
I'd like to thank Mackie and the team that invited me to speak today. I'd like to speak about college students, and specifically Black college students. And I'd be speaking about Black college students whose parents have immigrated and who may have been born in another country or who may be first-generation Canadians. I do see some of these students in my office, and I have some videos today of some students speaking, none of whom are my clients, so I'll get to share some of their stories today. The question I asked some of these students was, what motivates you, inspires you to be successful?
What makes me want to be successful in life is being able to buy my dream car.
What motivates you to be successful in life?
To be rich.
He said to be rich. One of the challenges I've noticed is that parents are having a hard time with their college student children in terms of believing or experiencing them as being unmotivated. They experience them as not being driven, not working hard, and it's a challenge. And a lot of the parents of these college students themselves were not too far away from poverty or lack. The taste was still present with them, maybe in their growing up experience or the communities they grew up in or their parents' communities, where the need to succeed was strongly driven by the ability to survive, just to get by and to get along and be able to afford basic needs. And so it wasn't so much driven by other things like ambition or interest or desire or passion. And so sometimes this is what the college student is experiencing, is that their parent has different motivators that they're scanning for and not noticing in their children, and therefore are having a hard time connecting with them in terms of inspiring them to be successful. First generation college students who are not from the dominant culture, they do tend to face greater obstacles. So as much as mental health isn't unique to immigrant populations or Black communities, there are certain challenges that they do face to a greater extent. They tend to drop out disproportionately more than dominant culture. They tend to have lower levels of social integration on campus. They tend to deal relatively with greater amounts of stress. They tend to encounter more obstacles in college generally. They have less familial support. And those who perceive less educational and career barriers, those who have greater social connectedness, and those who have a mentor, they tend to be successful. As well as those who have developed a cultural or ethnic identity, which is a very strong psychological buffer against racism and other sources of stress. Some more important questions are, what do you love? What do you enjoy? What are you good at, or what are you interested in being good at? Where can you get started having different experiences? hopefully our teenage years are used discovering things and finding things out, maybe into our 20s. It's important to also engage students in the conversation with the mindset that you can keep reinventing what you're doing and how you're doing it throughout your lifetimes. Our grandparents only could have one career. Our parents could have up to 3 in their lifetimes. We can have up to 7. And the next generation can have 10 or more. So we are reinventing ourselves every 10 years or so. They get to reinvent themselves every 7 years or so. And so the questions we ask will produce answers that relieve stress or promote conversation or engage in further interest. And this career wheel is a great way to do so.